My wife tragically passed away after having our son. Then her friend flipped my life upside down.
No. He's already had their life flipped upside down.
That's what I'm thinking. Oh my goodness. The situation is nothing short of a cluster F. I'm angry, depressed, and sad, and I don't know what to do. This is a throwaway. I, 32 male, am shattered and I don't know where to turn. My wife passed away last month, only 7 months after giving birth to our son. She developed peripartum cardiomyopathy, a rare and severe form of heart failure that can occur in the months following childbirth.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. And despite the doctor's best efforts, she didn't survive. Losing her so suddenly has left me heartbroken and in a state of constant grief.
And also like just after having a child.
Yeah.
So Opia is
So
having
now-
to parent and also handle that grief.
Yes. Oh my gosh. By the way, this comes from Boring Committee 959 on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So 3 weeks ago, my wife's best friend came over to visit. She was visibly nervous and eventually told me she had something sensitive to share. After some hesitation, she revealed that my wife had confided in her that she had been unfaithful around the time our son was conceived and that there was a chance he might not be mine. Oh my gosh.
Do you tell him that?
See, that's what I was thinking at first.
But I guess because it might not be his.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Then
If it was
the
just
dad
that she was
doesn't-
cheating, then like, don't
Yeah,
say
don't
that.
say it.
But-
But because it might not be his.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oof.
That's hard. I feel like that
Dang.
would be something to say.
Yeah,
then,
I
if it
think
might not
I think
be.
so.
Yeah. Oh boy. I was stunned and angry. My wife's best friend was telling me this only weeks after my wife's death, and it felt like an attempt to tarnish her memory. I couldn't believe it. I told her to leave and to not come back, convinced she was lying or trying to shift blame onto me somehow. The whole thing felt like a betrayal, and I tried to push the thought out of my mind. But once the idea was planted, it wouldn't go away. I kept wondering, what if she was telling the truth? After days of tormenting myself with this possibility, I decided to get a DNA test. It wasn't an easy decision. I felt guilty for even considering it, but I needed closure. Yesterday, the results came back. My worst fears were confirmed. My son isn't biologically mine. Oh my God.
OP is going through so much.
This is crazy.
Oh man.
Wow. Now I'm in turmoil. I loved my wife and I wanted to believe that our son was a piece of her and me together. But knowing he's not biologically mine has left me feeling lost and betrayed. I keep looking at him, trying to feel the same bond, but the pain of my wife's infidelity is so fresh and I don't know if I'll ever be able to move past it. I feel awful even considering it, but I don't know if I can raise him on my own. The betrayal I feel is overwhelming and I don't know if I'm capable of giving him the love and care he deserves. It's breaking my heart and I feel like a failure, but I also feel like I'm not equipped to give him the life he deserves. So am I the a-hole? And there is an edit, but what do we think? There's a couple edits.
I don't think you're the a-hole.
I don't think
If
they're
you
the
can't
a-hole.
raise a child who's, not biologically yours, you're also grieving
Yeah.
and found out that your child who you thought was
Right.
yours isn't yours.
There's so many layers to that
Yeah.
because then it's already like, even if the wife survived the birth, that's already infidelity that he would have to deal with. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the fact that like grieving someone and mourning over someone that you realized had done you wrong,
Yeah.
that you didn't know until afterwards.
So many mixed emotions.
That's already something. And then of course, adding the baby on top of it, it's like, that's just so much to deal with. And then also like actually taking care of the baby is like so mentally, emotionally, physically
Taxing.
exhausting.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot. I don't think
Yeah.
you're the a-hole though.
No.
I think that's understandable with everything that's going on.
How do you I don't think there is any right path in that situation.
Yeah.
That's very hard.
That's a lot, but there's some edits, so let's get into it. Edit number 1. I hadn't thought of contacting the friend, but I will now. The replies have really solidified what I have been feeling. The child is innocent, but I don't think I'll be able to love or care for him as well as I should. Informing the family will be my first step. Then contacting the AP, the affair partner, if possible. Adoption is going to be my last resort. Many of you believe that I'm a monster, but put yourself in my situation.
Oh.
I hope you all understand.
Not a monster.
Not a monster at all.
And
Oh
also
my
the fact that
goodness.
you're like going through all of these steps, like first talking to the friend, talking to the family, talking to the affair partner, like finding a suitable home for this child.
Right. Right. You're doing everything right. Edit number 2. So I called her friend. I apologized for my behavior, but also asked why she did not inform me as soon as she knew. She said her loyalties laid with her friend more than me. Okay, fine. I asked her about the affair partner. She said she doesn't know as it was a one-time thing. Apparently it had happened during her work time, whatever that meant, and during daytime as she'd been told. I mean, I'm not fully understanding, but it seems like she effed a guy when she was supposed to be working. Many of you are suggesting I go through her phone or social contacts, but I don't know any passwords. I never doubted her. We weren't controlling of each other and had and gave plenty of privacy. The next step is informing the family, both mine and hers. I'm adding another thing. I don't hate the baby, and I'm not so deranged that I'd throw him out of the house. Whatever happens, happens according to the procedure. I'm not going to instantly abandon a kid just because he isn't mine. In some relevant comments, I know some things too said, not the a-hole. It's not the child's fault. You should tell your wife's family so that they can take him.
Yeah.
I worry if you raise him, you'll always resent him. I'm so sorry for your loss and your wife's betrayal. Please get therapy so you can heal. Best of luck, OP. Blue Boost says, not the a-hole. Give her parents the grandbaby. Decent Dig 771 also says, not the a-hole. I'm sorry this has happened. Unfortunately, now he is a reminder of betrayal and a reminder that your life with your wife was a lie. It might be best to put him up for adoption or let your wife's family take him. You will never have the bond with him that you would have had if this truth had not been uncovered. OP says, I haven't told anyone about the test. However, I think it'd be best if I do so immediately. Desert Girl says, social worker here. Since OP was married at the time of the wife's death, he is considered the legal father in the eyes of the family court. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, DNA has established he is not the biological father. Therefore, he will need to have his parental rights terminated to avoid any legal responsibility to the affair child. OP needs to contact a family law attorney and start legal proceedings to identify the biofather and terminate his rights. There is an update, but let's... What do you think? What are you thinking so far?
I think OP is doing the right things. I think it's talking to the family. I think it's, finding the affair partner. I think those are the first steps.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. Do you think, like, I don't even know what would have to go on to, like, take away your parental rights? I mean, all sorts of legal stuff that I'm not even going to be able to understand. But yeah, that's a lot. I feel like I would want to have some sort of possible contact, but I wouldn't want to take care of the child. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I could see like wanting to give the child to the wife's family, but then being like cool with the wife's family still so that like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then that feels weird too because it's like, I wouldn't.
Messy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just so much.
So hard.
Oh boy. So there is an update. Thanks to everyone who reached out with advice and support. I didn't get to respond to every message, but I really appreciate it. After finding out my son isn't biologically mine, I decided to tell both my family and my in-laws. My family was shocked and angry about everything, but they stood by me. My in-laws were also shocked, but didn't believe it at first. They asked to see the DNA test results, and after seeing them, they suggested we do a second test with both families present just to be sure. That sounds like overkill, but whatever.
Yeah.
They said that if it confirmed he isn't mine, my late wife's sister, who has a 4-year-old daughter, would adopt him.
Whoa.
And I could take my name off the birth certificate if I wanted to. I agreed and we did the test yesterday. Results should come in about a week. Honestly, I'm relieved with how things are playing out. There hasn't been any drama and everyone's been understanding.
That's nice.
That's
I mean, you're
good.
already going through so much.
Yes.
So.
I've also talked to a lawyer who said getting my name off the certificate should be straightforward with the test results. By the way, what's always straightforward is us going live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile and you can join us.
Join us.
Tap it. Yeah, there is a little bit more. I'm just going to jump into it. Thank you all again for the support and for those who offered to adopt him. I'm sorry, but your kindness means a lot. That's interesting.
They're like, I'll adopt him.
Give it to me. I'll update when the final results are in. Also, English isn't my first language, so I use ChatGPT to help with formatting and phrasing. And an edit for those accusing me of karma farming, I'm going to delete this account after all this is over. Oh. And that is the end.
Man, oh man.
Man, oh man. That is just so much.
No, I think what OP's doing is the right steps forward.
Yeah.
Very hard though, and I'm sorry, OP.
That's so hard.
Yeah.
May you someday find someone that you trust and that trusts you and doesn't cheat on you, and you have a lovely big family with them, if you so please.
But that's the end of that story.
That's the end.
See you next time.
Boom.